But I just wanted to share a few moments of my story that unfortunately is still playing out in real time. And what I'm finding is that it doesn't really matter if I share or if I am silent. But one of the things that has gotten me this far is to never stop sharing my story. It led me to one of my best friends since 2022 in this mess that I find myself overcoming by the day. So, my name is Francina Evans, and I was named after my grandparents, Frank and Maxine. My grandfather passed away last September, and I was his namesake. And it's kind of the only thing I have left of him. Once again, my name is Francina Evans, but I do not own my name anymore. The maiden name I was born with 33 years ago, along with my identity, have been stolen by my abuser. In efforts to further control my social standings in society, to ruin my quest for employment, to destroy my image and likeness, he has relentlessly spearheaded a smear campaign across 7 platforms on the internet. And although I have never said his name on any public forum, he believes he has the right to not only say my name, but own it. My abuser tried to take everything from me, starting with my maiden name. We marched out here and we're chanting, breaking up is not a crime. So I'm going to say it again. I want you guys to say it with me. Breaking up is not a crime.
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 Having a family is not a crime.
Having a family is not a crime.
You don't have to repeat that part, but I just want you to get it, that this is a recurring theme. Having friends is not a crime. Belonging to this great church is not a crime. Being safe in my own home is not a crime. Being employed in one of the most expensive cities is not a crime. Simply living 977 days after you've ended a relationship is not a crime. Failed couples counseling is not a crime. Accepting a Christmas gift and keeping it is not a crime. And that's according to Essex County Superior Court. On May 4th, 2022, 3 long months after my breakup, my abuser filed felony charges against me in order to force me to return a puppy that I not only raised, but was gifted for Christmas. Burglary, theft, and harassment, which if convicted, could have landed me in prison for 3 to 5 years. These charges intended to scare me into giving her back without him having to pay for a lawyer to sue me in civil court. At least that's how most puppy custody battles are handled. This case, however, is unprecedented and traumatizing to even share. But God did not give me a spirit of fear. Unemployed at the time, I had to rely on family and friends to come up with the money for a criminal attorney to defend my innocence. And the criminal attorney for 3 felony counts are not cheap, or anything I would imagine having to finance just 4 months leaving a relationship. You see, my abuser knew the type of young woman I was and still am. Former FDA chemist, track and field semi-professional athlete, wellness enthusiast, fitness influencer for both seniors and the youth, great sister, daughter, granddaughter, and auntie. He wanted to taint that. Furthermore, he wanted my entire community to believe that I was on my way to add the term felon to my resume. He wanted to taint me simply because he could not have me any longer. After 2 years of slander, harassment, and verbal assaults at my front door, to the point where I had to move from my own home because my entire gated community was terrified of my abuser. That was simply the safest option. Countless sheriff's visits, an actual bounty for $1,000 plastered all over social media with a photo of myself holding my former puppy. Also, my abuser could illegally repossess what used to be my best friend, Little Shorty. My abuser bragged about how he had been in the system for a few decades. Before I knew it, inside out, and wanted me to experience that pain and anguish of having these charges over my head. He knew how greedy some of these attorneys could be, and he was right. My attorney, the initial one I hired, took all of my money while suppressing my evidence, just to ask for more money so he could go to trial. Even though there are hundreds of Facebook rants by my abuser still circulating, there was one in particular that stood out the same day I was indicted. Yes, I said indicted. The joy on his face and the evilness in his heart, I'll never forget it. This man was celebrating my indictment and sent a message to my now 90-year-old grandmother and mother that they put all these years of hard work into raising a felon, and proceeded to clap, grinning and mocking their hard work and pride they had in raising me. I had a clean record before I met my abuser, and he didn't want me to leave the same way he met me. I guess the logic there is, if I can't have you, no one's gonna want you. Well, I came here to tell you, friends and family, that as of May 6, 2024, exactly 2 years and 2 days after the charges were filed, I was acquitted on all felony counts. In a nutshell, I was blessed. God gave me a public defender who was not only an angel in the midst of this chaos. She was my attorney, Cynthia Hardaway, who was honestly one of my favorite women of all time. She represented me in the best way any falsely accused individual would want to be represented. And I love her. She stood up to my abuser at trial and brought all the lies to the surface for the judge to make her final decision. And there's just a few things in this room I just want to leave to the young women in the room. You know, the red flags to look for, in my opinion, in the relationship. Number one is love bombing. You know, if you receive a gift and it feels like there are conditions, you may not know there are conditions. Leave.
What is love bombing?
What is love bombing? Love bombing is getting something that you dreamed of your whole life. I always wanted a puppy when I was maybe about 6 years old. And he gave it to me and knew I loved that puppy and used it to abuse me like someone, a child. If they give you something that looks glamorous, you know, to me that was everything. Don't accept it. Don't accept it if you know it's gonna come with conditions. Number two, isolation from family. I'm used to spending all holidays with my family. I'm very family oriented. I'm a super aunt and would love to have my own family one day. Towards the end of the relationship, there were holidays that I wanted to spend with my family and I wasn't able to, but I also wanted to please my partner at the time, okay? I was a little bit too late. That's another red flag. That's red flag number two. The relationship with their own parents and siblings matter, okay?
Amen. Say that again.
Their relationship with their siblings or parents matter.
Say it one more time.
The relationship they have with their siblings or parents matter. I know sometimes I get into it with my two brothers, but we always eventually make up.
Yep.
You know? And if there is no communication, if there's no bridge to reconciliation, then you're eventually going to find yourself on the end of that bridge.
Yep.
That's just it. And lastly, how they treat the mother or father of their children. And like I said, mother or father, because this can happen to men and women, and it's still happening on a daily basis. Okay, so these are the 4 points I would like to leave you with today. You know, thank you, Pastor, Bishop, for always being here by my side, always being here, and for supporting me throughout this journey. Thank you, Franny, for putting this together. I sat here, just give it up for Franny. I sat here and soaking up this beautiful event. Thank you so much, and I look forward to volunteering more. And so this narrative doesn't have to continue. So I'm so grateful for the gentleman in the room. You know, I had a nightmare last night, and you know, because I've been posting about this flyer, and I'm like, you know, we didn't have enough men come here last year with us, but we had a handful of men, and I just want to thank you so much for coming. It matters. It matters. Thank you, Brother B, for always supporting. And I know I'm a little lengthy, but thank you so much for this time, and thank you.
Woo! We love you, Cena!
Thank you for